I know for a fact, 100% fact, that the corporation system is a narcissistic system. Just like when you're dealing with a narcissist, a future faker, a gaslighter, a game player, they're always going to try to draw you in, try to give you a false promise, withdraw it from you. And then when you, I don't know if you want to call it get hurt or not, but you say, I'm done with this. This is all lies. And then you walk away. Then what they try to do is try to hoover you. I've seen the local churches do this. The local churches will say, hey brother, we love you, come join us. You join, you see it's faith plus works being preached somewhere, it's legalism being preached, you walk away, and then they hoover you and say, look at this family you're missing out on. But they don't say it directly, they'll say it indirectly. So they try to hoover you to pull you back into a fake family. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's kind of like if you listen to the people who escaped the Jehovah's Witness and the Mormons and all that stuff, these people get pulled in. It's fake reality. Corporate means corpse. It's a dead system. It's a body, but it's not the spiritual body. It's just a building. They want you to worship a building, 2x4s or whatever. But I've seen this. And when you go socialize with them, they're not talking about the Bible, the truth, stuff that God revealed to them. They're talking about football, basketball, the same stuff the world talks about, they're talking about. Who cares about the football and the basketball? It's just a repeat. It's the red versus blue. It doesn't matter if it's hockey, football, basketball, soccer. It's red versus blue. It's a game. It's a distraction. So my point is, when you're young, playing sports is good because it teaches you team playership, But I promise you, the whole system's a big fat lie. They're trying to give you the fake unity, hurt you, push you away, and then when you're away, try to pull you back. It's the same drama as a narcissist. And then when you say, I'm done, then they try to hoover you and say, hey, you see them at the grocery store saying, hey, we're having a meeting together. Hey, how you doing? Pretty good. How about you doing? Yeah, we're having a church group. All of us are meeting together. We're going to Carowinds. It's like, Carowinds? Really? Who wants to do that? It's like pretending like it's a family. I've seen the jobs do it. The jobs pretend like they're family. Pretend like it's a cult, people. They're not there when you really need them. They're not. If you went to the hospital, they wouldn't show up. I promise you. They're only there if you support their box. They're only there if you support their little box, their little tribe. If you're doing your own thing, God called you to do this or this, they're not going to support you. It's fake reality, people. Everything's a box. I drove to the water department because I saw a water main up the street leaking at another location. She said, stand in line. What do you mean stand in line? I'll give you the address. I went to one lady and I told her, she said, well, you got to go over there. I said, okay. Who do I talk to? There's no line or anything. Then I went over there and she said, talk to the first lady. She said, you got to sign in. I said, why do I have to sign in? I'm telling you the address. There's a water main leak. She said, I can't help you unless you sign in. I said, I'm trying to help you by telling you water main leak. I'm not signing in. Here's the address. You can write it down and I'm leaving. And then I was somewhere else. So they're so caught up. What I'm saying is they're so caught up in a box. They can't think outside the box. There was 5 of them sitting there. There was nobody in line. There was no customers. There was nobody sitting down. They were so caught up in their little box system, they couldn't think outside the box. Then I went somewhere else think it was the grocery store. And the same thing happened where something out of the ordinary to help somebody, they couldn't think outside the box. I watched them. I observed it. They can't think outside the box. So they want to draw you into their little box to support their box. They don't really care about the person that you are. And if you don't support their false narrative, then you're ostracized. But then they don't want you to go to another box because that's supply. So the box system, the 501(c)(3) system, is a box that wants to feed off of you, but doesn't want you to take care of yourself or feed yourself. They might throw you some stuff out there, but they're not going to tell you every verse in the Bible is the flesh versus the spirit. They're not going to tell you the whole truth. They're only going to give you little pieces to keep you coming back. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. You got to come back. It's just like a salesman. You better not miss Sunday night because we're talking about something really deep. Well, I already know what that is about. See, they don't want you thinking outside the box. They have this one leader that they don't want you thinking outside this one leader. Do you understand? It's a box, people. Just like every house over here is a box. If I go over there, that house is run a certain way and there's some queen bee running that house. If I go over there, there's some queen bee running that house. If I go over there, there's some queen bee running the house. If I go over there, there's some queen bee running the house. Why ain't the man running the house? Why is it when you go into any of these houses, a queen bee running it? The men ought to be running it. But the queen bee system is a box system. Do you understand? There might be a pastor running that church, but usually the wife and the women are really running it. Instead of the men running it, usually it's the queen bee system. It's the hive mind. It's the Borg spider hive mind. And its tentacles are not to build you up, but to tear you down and put you in guilt, shame, condemnation. You're free in Christ. They're trying to bring you back under slavery to a box. You escape all the boxes in Jesus. You're seated in the heavenlies in Christ, and the system's trying to pull you back down into guilt, shame, condemnation. And Romans 8 says there's therefore now no condemnation in Christ. So they try to put you back under rules, works, levels, ranks, grades, ratings, honeydew list, all this. You got to touch not, taste not, handle not. And it's not just the churches, it's the corporations. It's any box you try to follow. If you can understand that, when you go to the water department, you say, hey, you got a water leak over there. And they say, wait a minute, there's a water leak right here. Wake up, fire, there's a fire. There's a fire right here. Stand in, sign, get in line and sign the paper. There's nobody sitting here. There's nobody in line. Why do I need to sign? There's a fire. Get in line. Well, there ain't no line. Well, sign the paper, sit down and wait for you to be called. There's a fire. They're in a box. They can't think outside of it. Do you understand what I'm telling you? This really happened, people. And it happens all the time. And I can't even believe it. I made a video right after it happened, and I didn't upload it yet because I was so mad. It's like, I don't even want to upload this because I'm not in the spirit walk. But it's like, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. And it happened again the same day at another situation. I'm thinking, this person needs help. Get out of your box. Just reach over. Just come around the counter and help them. It's not a big deal. But they're stuck in a box. They're so complacent. The box is to make you not think for yourself, keep you complacent, keep you dumb, down, stupid, and just follow orders and do what they tell you and believe what they want you to believe. It's ridiculous.